What's going on? Welcome to Asian Cosell. So here we go again. Maine officials refuse to sign Title IX compliance agreement from the Trump administration. So we're going to get right into this and outkick. And there you go. So officials in Maine has refused to sign Title IX compliance agreement that would ban males from what? Participating in girls and women's sports. But here you go. Department of Education issued launched an investigation in the state of Maine after a trans identified male track athlete won a what? State title in girls pole vaulting earlier this year. And the Maine Department of Education, the Maine Principals Association, and Greeley High School were all found to be what? In violation of Title IX. And the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services gave them what? 10 days either to comply or risk being referred to the Department of Justice for appropriate action. And now the deadline is here, and Maine officials have chosen the second option. So there you go. There's the Maine's governor. And here you go. And the Maine Principals Association, the organization that governs school sports in the state, cited the States of Human Rights Act as refusal to sign the Title IX agreement. The Maine Principals Association is bound by law, including the Maine Human Rights Act, which our participation policy reflects. A spokesperson for the MPA said they were unable to sign any resolution agreement that would mandate we create a new policy that would violate the law and MHRA. So there they go. And the refusal to sign comes after new polling shows that majority of residents in Maine agree with Trump administration on this issue of what? Protecting girls and women's sports. But, earlier this month, the American Parents Coalition surveyed around 600 registered Maine voters, 63% of whom said school sports participation should be based on what? Biological sex. So there's what they have here. And the poll also found that 60% of supporters would support a ballot measuring limiting participation in women and girls sports to, guess what? The biological females, including 64 of independents and 66% of parents and kids under the age of 18. So here's the problem with Maine. They just continue, to defy Trump's executive order in favor of what? Radical gender ideology. And Maine Representative Laurel Lebry, who was censored by the Maine House of Representatives for speaking out against the participation of what? Transgender athletes in girls' sports. She's disappointed Governor Janet Mills and MPA and Maine Democrats. So here we go. So here's the representative. New polling from USA Parent clearly illustrates that the radical agenda being pushed by Governor Janet Mills, Speaker Ryan, sorry, I'm going to mispronounce your name, Fatu, and the rest of Maine's Democrat majority is widely out of touch and views the beliefs of the overwhelming majority of Mainers. Yeah, so there you go. And of course, on February 5th, Trump signed an executive order to keep males out of girls and women's sports, promised to remove federal funding from schools and programs that don't comply. And of course, the Maine's Principal Association, organization that governs school sports in the state, came forward to afterwards say it would allow male athletes to continue competing in girls and women's sports in direct defiance of president's order. And Governor Mills backed the MPA's decision, telling Trump, "We'll see you in court." And Trump says, we're the federal government. If you don't comply, that's what's going to happen. Federal funding. With the issue now in hand of the DOJ, it looks like, yep, she will get her wish. Unfortunately, yeah. So there you go, Governor Janet Mills, still trying to push against this gender ideology. And of course, what does majority of the Maine constituents say? The citizens, they don't want men in women sports. So that's what they say. But I guess their people's interest is what, not valid for Janet? So yeah, yeah. So we'll have to keep continuing and see what happens. All right, if any of you enjoyed any of this content, please give me the HKO special. Help the king out. Hit the like, subscribe, and comment. And wherever you are, stay safe, and I'll see you in my next video.